hey, does age freak you out like it did me when I turned 40? And then I rolled into my 50s and my 60s. And I've discovered aging does not have to freak you out. Your true enemy here is the fact that we develop these poor habits and then we repeat them and we repeat them and then we repeat them, along with a poor, soft mindset and believing the lie that you're growing old and you're too old. Well, the truth is, just because you're advancing in years doesn't mean you have to go that way. You can go backwards. We have two certainties in our life. The first being that we're going to die, and some of us die younger than we should, or we're going to age. And how are you going to age? Because for me, aging is a wonderful thing because I know how to move. I feel good and I look good. That's because I move. Join Brad and I in this first part of a 3-part series, The Body.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that people are afraid and what's that term that people use, freaked out about growing old?
Absolutely. They get freaked out about getting old. Everybody freaks out about getting older. It is just a part of life. What happens is we get into this stage where we start losing strength and people start noticing that they can't get down on the ground and get up again. It's struggling just to get down to see your grandchild and back up again. They struggle going up a set of stairs. They start losing their balance. They're more apt to falling over and running a risk of hurting themselves because their stability and balance is off. So, and what happens is most people just simply give up movement. And you've heard the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, you talked about 3 tiers or three strong points, 3 keys.
Right.
What are the keys?
The keys, actually 3 of them are empowering your knowledge about you, showing up to it, and then being consistent with it. So the first one, knowledge, you have to understand that you continually change in your human body. And so you have to understand that science shows us that strength training, functional movement, lengthening, or what you call strengthening.
Stretching,
what you call stretching, right? And functional movement, strength, lengthening, cardio, and functional movement have to be done as you age. And if they're not, you run into all kinds of risky situations, achiness, gaining weight, all of those things like that become a problem as you age. And so it's real important that you become knowledgeable just about not your own body, but about what you should do in those 4 areas that are researched.
Okay.
And so seeking them out is an important part. Showing up to it and getting the right program is really a huge key. But most people won't show up because, number 1, they won't give the time to it, right? They don't want to give the time to it. Or number 2, they say they don't have the money. Again, health is an investment. Health is such an investment that usually people won't tap into unless they get cancer or diabetes, or they have joint issues, or they have some disease.
Right.
That's when they show up to it. So they won't take the time to invest in it, and they won't give the money to invest in it. And then that third element of consistency, what most people don't understand is that your program is going to change as you start to strengthen. And I've seen 70 and 80-year-olds strengthen. It's very, very possible. It's one of the reasons why I can squat and get up and down again without any kind of a problem. It's why you can too. And it's why we feel good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
When I was 17 years old, I fell off of a balance beam and I hit the leg with my lower back. I later found out I ruptured 2 of my lower discs. And I remember that I had to learn how to walk and move again, but I did. and jump ahead 35 years. And over that 35 years, I had 4 babies. I taught kindergarten. I had to move. So I continually moved, but with great pain at times. And at those times, I would end up swimming, for example, because of the buoyancy. The pain would shoot down my legs, SI joint pains, which 54 million Americans have today. And one day when I was 48, I woke up and I couldn't move. My legs wouldn't work for me, and I ended up having a fusion in my back. The neurosurgeon came out of the surgery and said, you know, Sharon, it's amazing that you can continue to move because both sides of your spine were severed. And from there, I learned how to walk again. I learned how to move. And from that point on, I swore that I'd have the strongest core around. I strength train. I use my mobility, my range of motion as much as I can. And today, I think it's why at age 68, I can actually move well, and just not well, move way beyond my years. Movement is a gift.
Path for working out was a little bit different than Sharon's. I had decided one day to start walking, which I did. I had changed my diet and I started walking. And I thought at 60 that that's probably all I could do is just walk. But what happened to me is one day I saw, as I was on the path or the trail, I saw a lady about 75 run past me. And I said, hang on for a minute. There's more to this than I think. And so what I did is I started jogging a little bit and walking and jogging a little bit walking. And at the time I would go to a massage therapist and she would work on the soreness. But when I found stretching, that was probably the biggest change for me, is stretching. Because, you know, when I was in my 30s, I could run, I could get up and just run. And then as I got older, I realized that I needed to stretch as well with it. Stretching made a huge difference for me. And I'll tell you what else did as well, and that is squatting. Learning to sit squat. It started to loosen up my back. It started to loosen up my hips. It gave me strength in my knees. My knees are not, they don't hurt at all. I don't suffer any of that pain. Occasionally I'll have a little bit of pain in my lower back, but I hit train. I get my heart rate extremely high. My resting heart rate is extremely low, like it's supposed to be for an athlete. And I feel great. So I don't look at age. I don't consider age. I'm going to keep running and keep doing what I'm doing, and weight training, which I also do as well, until I can't do it anymore. And hopefully that's not until I'm 95 or 100. So yeah, it's just changing the way that you reflect on what you used to do. And you know, the 70s were great. Being 20 and 30 in the 70s was awesome, or 80s, whatever. But now it's time to embrace where we are now, because this time is just as important as any time in our life.
So if you're freaked out about aging and you choose not to move, you should probably freak out, because you are predicting your own future. And the future is an early grave. If you choose to not move, you're going to lose independence earlier. You're going to lose mobility. You're going to lose that ability to feel good inside at the end of the day, because aging has consequences. Most people don't know how to move, and they don't know what to do. So if you go to the right person and you do the right thing and you figure out it's all about strength training, mobility, functional movement, and cardio, then you move with that and you are determined to show up and be consistent with it, you'll discover you'll feel better. That's what Brad and I do. My friend Tina came to me at 60 years old, almost 100 pounds overweight, extreme back pain, weak core. The ability to live was really challenging to her. And 5 years later, she is truly an example of beauty, of grace, and she loves movement. She's kind of addicted to it, like Braden. But there's one thing that's certain. As you age, movement becomes your gift.